Oh, I love how this happens time and time again.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Open door.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Back on track.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
No one here
Feeling
either.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
That's brilliant. Can't even go into broom closet. Let's go downstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's go downstairs. I don't think I went downstairs yet. Red. Red means good. That means go.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Maybe I am crazy.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
That seems
None
rather
of it
crazy.
made any logical sense.
Neither does
And
the
as
car
Stanley
being here.
pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like this car
For
here.
example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
I can't see my
Why did
feet.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
How can you
And
close
for that
automatically?
matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
Yes, it is.
what a relief
Yes.
Stanley felt to have finally found an
Yes,
answer,
an
an
answer.
explanation.
An explanation.
His co-workers weren't actually
No, they're
gone.
not gone.
He wasn't going to lose his job.
Nope.
He wasn't crazy after all.
I'm not
He
crazy.
thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Enjoy it.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then
Yes.
he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so
Yay.
much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Oh no, it's Professor
Now
Oak.
the voice
It's
was
Professor
describing
Oak.
itself
It's
being
Professor
considered
Oak.
by Stanley, who found
Get
it
out of my head,
particularly
Professor Oak.
strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing
No,
my
you're going to
thoughts,
make
he
my
thought.
brain explode.
And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
It is a
Was
dream.
Stanley
It's a
simply
dream.
deceiving
It's a
himself?
dream.
Believing that if he's asleep, he
It's a
doesn't have
dream.
to take responsibility for himself?
It's a dream.
Stanley
a
is
dream.
as awake right now as he's
It's a
ever
dream.
been in his life.
It's a dream.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words
It's
was
a
quite
dream.
a shock to Stanley.
It's a dream.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this
Yes,
was in
it-
fact a
it
dream.
is a dream. It's a
Did
dream.
the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else
Yeah.
would the voice explain all that? This
Yes,
voice
dream,
was a part
dream,
of himself
dream.
too. Surely, if he
Dream,
could just...
dream.
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this
I'm in
was
control.
a dream.
It's a dream.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Yes.
the
Yes, I'm
press of the
nodding.
mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am okay. I am okay. This is not okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
real.
just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Turned and ran. I love how she was face palming at that. That was probably the most brilliant ending I've seen in this game yet. That's so brilliant. It's the crazy type of brilliance that I enjoy. Oh look, the papers are now gone.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Hello? Co-worker? 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 Co-workers?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I did it. Why would the doors close either way? And open either way? That's strange. Yeah, fight me IRL door, fight me IRL.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The left. I entered the door on my left.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Not here.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
I wonder
For
if I was supposed to
example,
do this the
why
last
couldn't
time.
he see his feet when he looked down?
Yes, I
Why did
was.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these
See?
rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply
See, I was
repeating?
supposed to go through
No,
here.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
I was supposed to
And
go
at
this way, and
last,
I just
he
stood
came to the
there.
conclusion that
I
had been on the
failed.
tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream.
Okay, this is...
What a relief Stanley felt.
Begin the game again. I was just supposed to go full circle and around and around. Round, round, get around, I get around, woo, 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 woo. Okay, so that doesn't work.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I hear something over here. Not sure what it is I'm supposedly hearing.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe that's the normal sound I've been hearing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I'm not taking you. I'm not taking you. Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I'm gonna jump for that.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
That's not why I did it.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I am powerful. I'm gonna do it again this time. I'm gonna speed run through it. I'm gonna speed run through it, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna jump, and I'm gonna make it onto that platform, because I am all powerful. I am the great Stanley Parable. Parable is actually his last name.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Run. Really booking it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Book it.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile.
What? Bleeding makes me smile?
Proof that he was human.
Okay.
But good. Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I will not take you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
There should be stairs down to the next level where I want to go.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
Okay, I have to wait a little bit longer.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Let's see what's in here. I feel... Yeah, I don't know if I want to go in there. 2B1. Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. to be 3 or not to be 3. Warning, do not stand on the side of fence. Well, I am on the side of the fence. To be 4. To be 5.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red wasn't red. What? Okay.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
Yes.
Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this
No.
time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
No.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if
No,
we just
we would not.
stopped.
No.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh. What? Which door do I take? Which door? No. I refuse to. I will keep on running. I will keep on running. And running. Fine. Did I just die? Or is it just loading something new and improved and awesome?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Oh look, mystical, magical. I don't know what it wants me to do. Ooh, pretty. Is this an ending or is it just... One of those beepy things is on the TV now. Don't. I guess this is... I don't know if this is supposed to be like a puzzle thing or what. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Guess I just have to restart it.